Throw the slack, you fucking moron!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Screen Share, a movie podcast about turning into a little cartoon, and then when you crash into the ground, you're the Nike logo all of a sudden.
You're the Nike logo all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Did that happen?
Yeah, when first time he goes into Toon World.
He crashes in a Nike logo.
He crashes into the ground, and he's the shape of the Nike. His body is the shape of a Nike logo. My name's Calder Amos Wood.
My name's Adam Cook.
And this is Screen Share. Boom, dum, dum. Da-na-na-na-na-na. I don't know what that was.
It was a new song. So this is the second movie in our best and worst month.
Yeah.
Last week we did Cats, which was my pick for worst, and I did succeed.
They stunk so much.
Oh, it stunk so bad. It stunk of kitty cat
This week
pheromones.
is Space Jam: A New Legacy, not Space Jam 2, even though that's what I call it.
Yeah.
Because, of course it's a new legacy. LeBron's a new man. He's not just
not a sequel,
trying
it's
to
a
be Michael
reboot.
Jordan.
Even though all the Looney Tunes reference the first movie a lot.
Yeah, and say that, they wish Michael Jordan was here.
Yeah.
And then he is there, but it's not that Michael Jordan. We'll get into that later. This is my pick for the worst of the month because this movie's boring and it kind of sucks and it's too long. Not kinda. And it's corporate spawn con pretty much for the whole thing. And it's just like a big fucking mess.
So can I tell you how my experience watching this for the pod?
Sure.
So in watching these movies, I hadn't seen Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Had you seen Space Jam 1?
I had seen Space Jam 1 multiple times. And I like it. It's a good time.
I've got a surprise for you later on.
Interesting. I don't like that. But I had seen Cats. I had seen Booksmart, which I chose. So basically, I hadn't seen your movies. I had seen my movies.
Yeah.
So I knew kind of what I was in for with Cats.
Mm-hmm.
When I watched Space Jam: A New Legacy before I rewatched Cats. Mm-hmm. So when I was watching Space Jam: A New Legacy, I was
like, oh fuck.
Well, I was
He's got the worst one.
This is actually a contest. Because
I kind of had the same thing with Cats because I'd never seen Cats. So I was watching. I watched Cats first, and I was like, "Is Space Jam 2 bad enough to compete with it?" And it is. And it is. After I watched Space Jam 2 again, it is.
Yeah. Obviously, we'll get into which one is worse, but
at the end of the episode,
at the end of the epi. But man, Space Jam 2 really shocked me with how bad it was. Even before we even got into, and I'm saying the exact correct terminology, before we got into the Warner Brothers serververse and met
Warner Brothers 3000,
Rhythm,
played by Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle.
Hillary did think that the little Pete, whatever his name was,
Pete, yeah,
she thought he was pretty cute.
I fucking hated Pete.
Yeah, I don't know.
He looked. Here's the thing: we talked
cute,
in
though.
Cats a little bit about how the cats look like PS2 characters.
Mm-hmm.
Pete looks like a PS1 character.
He's kind of hot though.
But yeah. So before we even get to the Warner Brothers serververse, there's a scene where LeBron's fake family is just playing basketball on his personal court,
and his son Dom is playing his game Dom Ball.
But
on the bench,
the way that it is shot, the way the dialogue is, all the acting, it all just makes everything seem and this isn't a commentary on the fact that this whole movie's basically a commercial for a bunch of Warner Brothers
but it looks
properties.
like a State Farm commercial.
Yeah, it literally looks like a commercial.
Yeah.
Because it's just shot so bad and the acting is bad.
So let's rewind a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the legacy of Space Jam.
Sure.
Because that's important in this movie.
Space Jam legacy.
Yes.
Yeah.
This sequel is pretty highly. Are you okay? It's just a guy out there changing his tires.
Oh, I thought my laptop was making some weird sound. A guy outside's changing his tires.
This was a pretty highly anticipated sequel for me, at least. I wasn't I gotta go see Space Jam 2, but I was like,
But you were like,
I'm
they've been trying to
interested.
do this for a bit.
Yeah, I'll watch it when it comes out. I think the first one's pretty good. It's a pretty good kids movie.
Yeah.
It's got an interesting mix of animation and live action, which this one does not have.
Does not.
It kind of cuts that whole thing out. And they've been trying for years. The first one came out in 1996. They pretty much immediately wanted to make a sequel.
Yeah.
So they started looking at other athletes.
Puck Jam.
I think Gretzky might have been an option that they looked at, like thrown on the whiteboard, but who they actually contacted were Jeff Gordon, Race
NASCAR.
Jam, Tiger Woods, Golf Jam,
Sounds like shit.
Tony Hawk, Skate Jam.
Honestly,
I feel like Skate Jam would have been good.
Because we've briefly talked about this before. I forget which
what
episode it was. Yeah. But we've talked about this before. And genuinely, Skate Jam is the only one where I'm like, I could see that actually being kind of good. Just because I feel like Tony Hawk is like charismatic enough of a guy that he could carry a movie like that. But also, I feel like skateboarding would kind of like fit the Looney Tunes.
The Looney Tunes got to
vibe.
figure out how to skateboard to get rid of the little guys that we see for 3 seconds in this movie. Like the little villains. The little villains come back. Danny DeVito's trying to do something. Yeah. They have to win a skateboard competition. Tony Hawk teaches them how. There's a lot of potential for them to fall over, do funny shit.
Yeah.
That's the movie. That's easy.
But instead,
we waited almost 30 years
to just do
24
another
years or like 26 years.
Wait, I just realized. Why would they call it like Race Jam, Golf Jam?
Yeah, that's the
Skate Jam when jam is the basketball part. But also you can't do like space golf because what is that? That doesn't have to do with Looney Tunes because like Space Jam only worked for the first one because there were aliens.
Yeah, you could do like Space Race with Jeff Gordon maybe. But like that doesn't have the same kind of branding potential. No. Whereas like them being the Jam franchise, that's unique. But them being the Space franchise is like, okay.
As much as I kind of hate when studios do this, I feel like the correct answer was to do something like Star Wars did or like Rian Johnson did, where it's like, I don't know, like they come up with some other title for Tony Hawk's,
like a Space
and then it's
Jam
a Space
story
Jam
or
adventure or something.
Yeah.
But like
they also wanted to do one with Michael Jordan right after, and then he said no because he went back to play with the Bulls because this was done in when he retired between the 2 3-peats.
Yeah.
Which gets him at a really interesting point in his career because that's a low point in his career.
Yeah.
He's retired. He's playing baseball. It's like there's theories that it's because of his dad's gambling or something. Like his dad has just died. So you meet the character of Michael Jordan, the first one, at a low point. Yeah. Because he's playing like AA baseball.
Well, yeah, because in the first one, there's a little bit of a story of like, oh, he's got to get back into it.
Yeah.
A little bit, which I kind of like.
In this one, you meet LeBron at the top of the world. The opening credits are his retirement montage, basically showing him being the greatest athlete that's ever lived. He's got a beautiful house. Michael Jordan's living in like a suburban house.
Literally the reason Don Cheadle goes after LeBron is because he's like, there's no one better than a guy who's referred to as the king.
Yeah. Like they're calling him, Don Cheadle's calling him king throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Like everyone is like deferring to LeBron. He's like the greatest of all time. Even in like the first one, Michael Jordan's wife, like they don't have a bad relationship, but she doesn't. She's like in the movie. She's got kids. Like Michael Jordan's a real person in the first Space Jam movie. LeBron James is not in this a person.
One, but that's the weird thing though. They show LeBron's real life as like the opening credits montage. So you go, oh damn, it's like literally just LeBron James.
Yeah.
And then you meet his not real wife,
his
not real 2 sons, and his not real daughter.
Just have Bronny in it, my man.
Yeah.
Like, and the other interesting thing is there's kind of a parallel with the storylines and his life with Bronny.
Yeah.
Where Bronny's got like the streaming shit he does.
Yeah.
So I assume there's probably something where like LeBron was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're playing games all the time. You're on Twitch and shit.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't say Twitch, but like, I don't think LeBron knows what Twitch is. And And they bring LeBron in. The reason he gets sucked into the serververse is because they want to put him in every single movie.
Oh yeah, watching that when like
they put him in
pitching this to him in algae rhythm is like, here's the pitch. We just literally get a 3D model of you and put you in every possible movie ever. But it's like not really you.
Because like everyone likes him, everyone wants to see him. He's the biggest person in the world.
Yeah.
You can't start a movie where the character's the greatest man in the world.
Yeah.
He's the biggest hero.
Unless you
tear him down.
Yeah. They don't really tear him
down.
They
don't tear
just
him down.
They just kind of send him to Looney Tunes.
They send him to Looney Tunes and then he goes, maybe my son should be able to make video games.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like in the first movie, it was a lot of like Michael Jordan had to kind of like rein the Looney Tunes in a bit so they could play basketball. He still let them be a little loony, but like he had to like teach them how to play basketball.
But then he had to be a leader for them to get there.
Exactly.
So, like,
but this, like, LeBron's not really a leader.
Yeah.
Like, they look to him because he's good at basketball. But, like...
He's not a good leader. He tries to force them to play the way he wants. The triumph of the first Space Jam, I'm kind of going off
No,
here,
it's fine.
is when Michael Jordan stretches his arm because he's becoming loony.
Yeah.
He's, like, joining them. He's joining their thing. That doesn't happen with LeBron in this movie.
No, they literally do a moment like that, but it's just LeBron doing a regular dunk.
Yeah, and then his son throwing his little bounce pad at him, and Don Cheadle going, that breaks the rules. There's no fucking rules in the game.
Literally,
Dude.
they get like 500 points on their team because Porky Pig raps. Which was, I think, the moment where I actually debated ripping my brain out of my skull. Because Porky Pig raps, they get a bunch of points. I forget
Which
what
is
LeBron...
a reference, by the way, to the hip-hop Looney Tunes, like, clothing line thing from the 90s. So that's not even, like, an original thing.
Well,
that's just
bad.
them being, like, Porky Pig's, like, Notorious B.I.G., like, on the shirt when he dressed up like Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah. But then LeBron says, like, Porky Pig finishes his rap. And then the points go up. And then LeBron James goes, style points. And then it does a wide shot of all of the Looney Tunes doing, like, the Crank Dat Soulja Boy
and then
dance
LeBron
or
does a little
something.
smile or something. And
Yeah. It literally feels like it's just doing, like reference after reference after reference. But, like, pop culture reference. Like, I know it was kind of self-aware, but even in the beginning of the movie, where his son, Dom, is just like, don't dab, Dad.
And then he does it.
Whoa, what was it? I wrote it down.
And he's like, what, you don't want me to do this? And then he dabs or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he said, Dad, don't dab. And then LeBron says, did you say, please dab, Dad? And
he didn't.
And then Dom goes, no. And then LeBron dabs. And then Dom's like, and
then it's
dad.
over.
And
Then scene
that's
over.
the scene. Yeah. And it's just like, I don't care that you were self-aware by being like, yeah, dabbing's lame. You still did it.
Yeah. The first Space Jam made $6 billion in revenue. Did you know that? Like merchandising, all that shit. $6 billion.
That's ridiculous. But like once you said merchandising, I was like, I could see that because I feel like pretty frequently I'll see like someone wearing a Space Jam shirt or something.
And it was also big in home media. I learned this. It was on a 4 DVD bundle with 2 other iconic movies and one that I didn't even know existed. It's Space Jam, Looney Tunes Back in Action, Osmosis Jones.
Hell yeah.
That's a good one. Bill Murray getting bit by a fucking monkey. And Funky Monkey. Never heard of Funky Monkey.
Never heard of Funky Monkey. I remember watching Osmosis Jones in like middle school for health class.
Yeah, and they're like, this is what drugs do. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
And then we had to like, at least I was in like the 5th grade. Sure. So after we watched it, we then had to like write our own very short
Osmosis
version.
Jones.
But so I made mine Oxygen. And it was about this little girl creature who's made out of oxygen, and she...
Is that where you got your starts in fanfic?
No, I actually don't write fanfic.
Yet.
I more just facilitate it.
That's true, actually. So let's talk about merchandising.
Okay.
Because one of the things that this movie somehow, along with 900 other things, mess up is the jerseys.
Yeah.
I don't know how they fucked up the Toon Squad jerseys. They're so ugly.
Yeah.
Here's the thing with jerseys and like paraphernalia and stuff.
Yeah.
You can make merch, but if you make the merch so over the top and aggressive and colorful and like not like a normal thing, no one's gonna want it or buy it.
Yeah.
No one will buy one of these Toon Squad jerseys. No. It's bright blue, half of it's orange. There's like a big circle on it. You can't just wear that. The logo's ugly. The other one, just a white jersey with Toon Squad on it, name and number on the back.
Yeah.
The Goon Squad jerseys, I don't even know what the fuck that was. I don't even know what they look like. I guess they're purple?
No, I don't think they had one. I think
Dom had one on.
No, but Dom wasn't even wearing a jersey. He was wearing like a black
athleisure sweater t-shirt with a long
like
sleeve
big
under.
Sleeves, and it had like holes in it.
I don't want to. This is going to sound really rude, and I think it's probably not the costume department's fault.
Sure.
But the costuming in the scenes where they put LeBron into things, or even just kind of in general, was not a fan of it. I didn't think it was good. In like the Casablanca scene, I didn't think that he looked like he would have been in Casablanca.
Yeah.
Because his jacket looked just completely wrong.
Yeah.
And, like,
literally
the Mad Max scene when they go to Fury Road, he's just wearing like a bulletproof vest.
He's wearing a bulletproof vest and like one of those children's rubber bike helmets with a little mohawk on it.
Yeah, it's like what is this? Like that's not what it looks like. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Just look at the movie.
And honestly, like I'm the kind of guy who I should have watched this movie and been like, yo, it's so fun seeing all these IPs. Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, The Matrix. But it just feels so stupid.
Yeah.
Like, it just feels so dumb.
And then all the fans at the basketball game, that's like literally Midwest Comic-Con level cosplay that they're doing. Like,
yeah.
It's like, I got like $100. Let's put together a Robin costume.
Yeah.
You know?
Literally. And there's so many I think there was even a moment, maybe it was Voldemort. I didn't really check because it could have been Voldemort because they have the Harry Potter IP. But there was a moment where Olivia was like, oh, look, it's Voldemort. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that's just like one of the Mad Max guys. Or maybe like Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Because, like, the only ones you can really make out are the ones that are obvious.
Like the
Jim
Mask.
Carrey's The Mask.
Yeah.
But it's not even Jim Carrey. It's just some random dude. Obviously, it's not Jim Carrey. They're not going to get...
Yeah, that'd be wild.
That would be ridiculous. But, like, I don't know. It just feels so dumb. There's the moment where Don Cheadle says, King Kong ain't got shit on me. And then King Kong goes, huh? And I'm
Which is like...
Kill me.
The epitome of this movie where it's like they'll reference something, but it's like there's no context to it. That line in Training Day is like, it makes sense for the character because the character like thinks he's, I guess maybe Algie thinks this too, but like at that point Denzel's like above the law. He's in a neighborhood of a bunch of people he's like held shit over. He thinks he's invincible, but he's clearly not. He's just trying to intimidate them.
Yeah.
What the fuck is Algie gonna do?
Well, also, I didn't really understand Algie Rhythm. Like, it's very clear that his plan is like make Dom hate his dad, so Dom beats his dad, so Algie Rhythm gets to keep millions of people.
For what?
For what in the serververse? But then he like yells at Dom.
Yeah.
When they're losing, it's like, okay, congratulations. Now the jig is up. And also, was that like actually Anthony Davis and Damian Lillard brought in and then like upgraded like Dom was? Or did they just like take their faces and put them on a fucking bird?
I think it was their actual voices.
Yeah, I know it was their actual voices.
But I don't think they did any motion capture or anything for this movie. Like, I'm pretty sure they didn't do that.
Oh wait, you know what? Well, because they were in one scene where Dom is like asking.
They were at the start.
You know what it is probably? It's probably because Dom put them in the game, so the Goon Squad was probably like the characters that are in the game but upgraded rather than actually bringing those people in. And,
yeah. A little bit of box office. I did a bit of a crude adjusted thing for the original. I just like calculated the inflation increase.
Sure.
So the original's budget was 135 million. 95, it's like 80 million. Okay. Box office for that original movie 422. The budget for this movie was 150. Box office was 163. But it came out like kind of around in COVID-ish.
Yeah.
So I guess there's that. There's the muted box office because of COVID. Then there's also the fact that there's horrible word of mouth.
Yeah.
And also the fact that it's just kind of a dog shit movie.
Well, and like, I'll be honest, who is like, aside from like kids who just want to go see big flashing lights on their screen, which I guess this provides.
Yeah.
Like, who is this for? Genuine answer, probably you and me are probably the demographic. Where we saw the first one and we watched the NBA and know who LeBron James is and Damian Lillard and like.
But like, I guess that makes sense. But one of the draws in the, like, for the first one was that it had the Looney Tunes in it too. Like, they were kind of.
Which isn't,
big
I hate
stars.
to say it, it's not really a draw for modern audiences.
I think the best part of this movie is the shit that Bugs Bunny's doing when LeBron gets to Toontown.
Yeah.
I think all of that Bugs Bunny stuff is good. LeBron is one of the worst voice actors I've heard, which makes sense because if you've played any 2K game, you know NBA players are horrible voice actors because they're not voice actors.
You know what I think it is, though? I think it's because LeBron was in Trainwreck, the Amy Schumer, Bill Hader movie.
So they thought he could, like...
And people were like, he was really funny in that.
Because he was good in that.
Yeah, so then they're like, he can carry a movie. But, like, I do actually agree. I didn't really think about this. But, like, even when Bugs and LeBron are, like, rounding up the Looney Tunes gang, it's honestly not that bad. It's just weird that LeBron's just there being like, dude, the point when Algae Rhythm reveals, you're going to play a basketball game, you better find a team, because if you lose, then you're going to stay here forever. And then he, like, makes LeBron fall through the floor. It's like an instant fall through the floor, and this is the sound LeBron makes.
He's just a bad voice actor.
And I do think, like, a lot of the audio mixing was abysmal, especially in Toontown, where, like, I'm like, LeBron James recorded this without any of the script being written in a sound booth. And, like, everybody was like, yeah, that was a good first take. And they just used all of that.
And he's like, guys, I got to get to the gym.
Yeah, and, like, the mixing is bad, so there's no background sound.
Because the other thing with this is, like, this was during LeBron's career.
Yeah.
Michael had retired, so they had more time with him. Mm-hmm. So now you've got a lot of LeBron doing voice acting, like, when he gets a chance. But everyone knows LeBron's so committed to, like, being in shape and doing all this stuff to keep his body in good shape for basketball.
Yeah.
That you know he doesn't have enough time to, like, go through
like,
the shit. Like Eric Bauza, who did a lot of the Looney Tunes, who's a Canadian, by the way.
Nice.
Like, he has the time to do this shit, and he's very skilled. Let me check who he did. But he did, like, a lot of them. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, the truth is, LeBron probably came into a green screen set for about 2 or 3 days. And they got all of the LeBron James footage on a green screen.
Yeah.
Maybe aside from the one scene in the boardroom and the one scene on the basketball court.
And he's got a hard job because there's probably just tennis balls where he's supposed to look.
Yeah.
And
But,
that's
like,
hard for trained actors.
I don't blame LeBron for this being bad. I do think he's a bad part of it. But, like, I completely blame whoever thought almost any aspect of the movie was a good idea. Can we briefly talk about Don Cheadle?
Yes, of course.
Or did you find the thing you were looking at?
So Eric Bauza voiced Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, Foghorn Leghorn, Elmer Fudd, and Marvin the Martian. So I was wrong about him doing Bugs Bunny.
Okay.
But Jeff Bergman did Bugs Bunny, Sylvester the Cat, Yosemite Sam, Yogi Bear, and Fred Flintstone. And of course, Zendaya did Lola Bunny.
Who did Lola Bunny? Zendaya.
Zendaya, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, when Zendaya's name popped up in the opening credits, I was like, who? And then Lola Bunny popped up, and I was like, oh, okay, of course.
Which she does a pretty good job, but
Yeah,
like
she
there's
does fine.
literally not a goddamn thing for Lola Bunny to do in this movie.
No. She's like, similar to the first one, she's just like the Looney Tune that's actually good at basketball.
Yeah. Wait, so sorry, what were you going to say? Because I have another thing about this animated sequence.
Well, I was going to talk about Don Cheadle, so you go.
So one more thing about the animated sequence is I like a lot of the style that they do in the animated sequence too. Like I think the Toontown stuff is really well animated, really well stylized.
Agreed.
I think the DC stuff is also well animated.
pretty good.
Because it's done in that style. The thing where they go to like the Wonder Woman place is like
I
pretty
like
cool.
that. Honestly,
Like,
that might have been my favorite sequence.
yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in that like 20-minute section when LeBron's doing a lot of voice acting. And then they just don't do anything with that. And then it goes to the basketball game. And then you've got an hour of this boring basketball game with no rules and no stakes, really.
Yeah,
because you can get 500 points at any moment.
At least in the first Space Jam, like, the most crazy thing that happens is one of the goons will like grow and get big and then dunk it, and then you go, that's not really fair.
And
in
then, like,
this,
crush
it's literally
another one.
like, it's literally the equivalent of like Don Cheadle goes and shoots Bugs Bunny in the head and then like shoots
Scores
it with
1,000
no
points.
defense and gets 1,000 points because he shot Bugs Bunny in the head.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, wait, that's not fair. And it's like, no, that's like actually, it's not even not fair. It makes no sense.
It's Dom Ball. It's better than
It's
basketball.
Dom Ball. Fucking me.
Fucking
Well,
me.
oh, dude, also, there's a moment where, like, when all of the fans are transported, where LeBron James's fake wife is, like, yelling to Dom, and they're like, her other son is like, he can't hear you.
But then
so I
she
was
can
like,
talk to LeBron through the force field.
yeah, but then she talks to LeBron and later talks to Dom.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, is it down now? No, it's not.
No, there's
clearly.
no rules. There's no logic. None of this shit makes sense.
It just makes no sense at any point. It's just, and dude, what was it? Oh yeah, something that made me very angry, I guess is the best word, is when they're like showing LeBron in all these different movies and they go, LeBron in the Chamber of Secrets. And I'm like, is this funny? Is this a joke? Is this supposed to be cool?
Yeah, am I supposed to be like, oh yeah, it's sick that this 38-year-old man's in a school for children. A little wizard school for children.
And the shot they used was literally like an animated version of like 36-year-old LeBron James flying on a broom playing a Quidditch game at a school for people under the age of 17.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's just like, it's so much like doing shit for the sake of doing it instead of it actually being good.
I think, and then we'll get to Don after this, but I
Sure.
think it's worth mentioning there was some like turmoil behind the scenes. A director
Not
left
surprised.
after like a bunch of weeks of pre-production, and then they brought in Malcolm D. Lee, who's like a good director, I guess. He did Scary Movie 5, Undercover Brother, Girls Trip Night School. He did like one of the barbershop movies. Like he's done a lot of stuff.
Okay.
But this is like a different level where you're like, you got $100 million and you're doing a bunch of CGI. And it's kind of the thing that we mentioned with Cats, where it's like, the director needs to know what he's doing with the CGI. You kind of can't just bring a guy in to do this.
Because it genuinely seems like they were like, okay, guys, we only got LeBron for a couple of days. Let's just like film him on a green screen. We'll figure it out after. And then the VFX artist being like, what in the world? What do we do here? And then the director coming in and being like, Also, can you put every character possible in the audience, please?
And also make them look realistic at the end. And also, here's the thing. I think why I like the animated sequence so much is because it feels like everything around that was like directed by someone, but then they were like, okay, animators, like, here's what you got to do. Here's how you got to get us into the story, but like, go off and animate this.
Yeah.
So it feels like they put a lot of their shit into it, which is why I like it. But then there's like, an hour and 40 minutes of movie around that. So Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle. We love Don Cheadle.
Yes, we do.
Big fan of the Don. Cheed. Watching this movie, I got excited when I saw Don Cheadle's name. I knew he was in it. I just kind of forgot. And then I was like, oh, yay. Hopefully he's at least good. I have never seen Don Cheadle be worse.
Really? I thought he was pretty good in this movie.
Here's the thing. I thought he committed. So, like, he was really good as, like, he's good in the same way that George Lopez is good in Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this is very bad. But, like,
he's committed to it.
For a children's villain, he's committed to it.
That's why I thought it was good.
Yeah. But I don't think that means it was good, is I guess the difference here.
What do you need out of a villain in a children's movie, right? You just need someone who's committed to the role.
But it just wasn't believable, though, because it's such a nothing character.
And that's not his fault.
That's not Don's fault.
Right? Like, the fact that the villain's plan makes literally no fucking sense, and, like, there's really no point to anything that he's doing, and that he has horrible dialogue and, like, says all these weird lines. That's not Don's fault.
No, it's not.
He's doing the best he can with this, limited script, and he's getting that paycheck.
But this is what I'll also say. One of the reasons I like Don Cheadle is because he seems like just a genuine, nice, regular dude. Not great for some all-powerful algorithm villain. Like, Don Cheadle would have been better as, like, LeBron's friend who keeps fucking
Malik?
up. Malik, yeah.
What a wild fucking character that was.
Yeah.
I think that guy's fine in the movie, too.
Sure,
the Malik
but,
guy,
like, why is he there?
It doesn't make any sense. I
literally wait, because LeBron's fake family phases into the serververse. And then Malik is just there in the server room, and he's like going like talking to his phone, being like, put me into the phone. Is that the last scene he's in the whole movie?
No, then he comes back when they come back to the world, and then he hugs LeBron.
But that's it.
Yeah, then that's it. When they reappear. So he doesn't do a goddamn thing.
Yeah. I will say, actually, because I think almost every single little bit of comedy in this movie falls completely flat. However, there was one moment that I did giggle at, and it was when Malik is talking to the Warner Brothers security guy, and the security guy's just like, what do you want me to do? You're telling me that you lost the greatest athlete in the entire world and his son. Like, you just can't find them? And he's like, yeah, man, you gotta help me. Is there a way that we can figure it out? He's like, no.
Yeah.
You misplaced two humans, one of which is one of the most famous people in the world.
And then he gets a call, and he's like, he lost LeBron James while he's on the phone. Yeah. I like that guy. The security guard was good.
I like the security guard.
I think Don Cheadle was committed and did the best he could. If you want to see him give a good performance, I'd recommend White Noise. He's really good. He has this great scene with Adam Driver in it that I recommend. He's a professor of Elvis studies.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the Goon Squad a little bit.
Yeah.
So in the original, it takes the sort of like archetypes of a couple real life players. You got Patrick Ewing, you got the tall white guy whose name I don't know, you got Muggsy Bogues, Charles Barkley, and I don't know if it's Alonzo Mourning. I don't think it's Alonzo Mourning. I think it was supposed to be Alonzo Mourning, and then it wasn't, and I didn't look this up because I forgot.
Nice.
But it goes like, okay, we need a tall guy, we need a short little guy, we need a big guy who can play. Like, it just kind of takes these body archetypes and it doesn't really do anything else with them. Like,
Yeah.
the aliens don't take on their personality.
Yeah.
But it has the really interesting subplot that I really like, where they're like going to the therapist and like
Where Charles Barkley's like, I'm just not good anymore.
and he's like standing outside of like a court on the street.
yeah.
And someone's like, "Hey, are you Charles Barkley?" And they're like, and then he's like, yeah. And they're like, "Come play with him." And then he starts playing and he's fucking shit and the kids start yelling at him. That's hilarious.
yeah, I like that a lot.
This doesn't do that.
No.
This brings in, brings in 2 WNBA players, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But it brings in like Dame Lillard, Klay Thompson, Anthony Davis, Diana Taurasi, and I forget what sorry, I didn't look up her name either.
It's okay.
And Nakia Okwamaike. I think she might be on the TNT NBA show.
Okay.
I don't know that yet. I'm making a bunch of wild accusations about things that I don't know. So if any of this is wrong, it's fine.
Well, the thing is, I think the difference is that, like,
It feels like
this
we're
is-
supposed to have some sort of...
it feels
I don't
like,
even know.
at least in the first Space Jam, if I had no idea who any of these NBA players are, they at least give us a little bit of extra stuff for us to be like, okay, these guys are NBA players. They've lost their groove. It's kind of like they become characters in the movie. This is just like, yeah, these guys are like basketball guys.
Yeah, like these people play basketball also.
Yeah.
And some of them have something that's sort of related to their real life personas. Most of them don't. Like Dame Time, I get. Clay's
Splash Zone. He was
Splash
Wet
Zone.
Fire.
Yeah.
And then
We've got
Anthony Davis was literally the Brow, which is just an actual nickname for him.
yeah, but he's a fucking eagle.
Yeah,
or
why
something?
is he a bird?
I guess his wingspan.
Maybe.
And then we've got Spider and Snake for Diana Taurasi and Nakia.
Yeah.
So I don't really care.
Yeah.
And I think one of the reasons why I don't care is because I don't really have a relationship with any of these guys except for kind of Klay Thompson and Dame Lillard. Like,
Yeah.
Anthony Davis doesn't really have like a persona.
No.
So if you're going to bring him in and like play off that persona, you got to give me a little more.
Yeah.
Because like my mom watching this wouldn't be like, "Oh, Anthony Davis, he's the eagle because he's the Brow, because he's a big guy with a big wingspan." She'd go, "Why is this guy in the movie?"
Why-
Or like,
who's
what
this
is this?
bird
Who's this
guy?
character? If she
Yeah.
watches the original, she can be like, "Oh, there's that guy. He's a basketball player," because they literally show him actually playing basketball in real life.
Yeah.
Because they have an actual shot of a real basketball.
Literally,
court, an
the only
NBA
thing they
game.
do for the players here is they have one random shot in the gym where this assortment of players is just
Yeah, and
practicing
Dom's
together.
like, "Hey, let me scan your bodies and put it in my game." Yeah, it's fine. The NBA PA doesn't care.
Yeah.
There's nothing in the collective bargaining about this. I don't need to pay you at all.
yeah.
I'm
But
being my
also,
game.
like, literally all of those players, it's just a one shot each of them basically being like, "Oh yeah, give me some cool power-ups."
Yeah.
And that's it. Because here's the thing, I don't want to accuse anyone of anything, but like, I just feel like today, like, NBA players are much less willing to do something like this than they were
'cause
back in the day.
They'll feel embarrassed or something. Or
yeah, or like, I don't know. But like,
I think that's true. Like, they barely do interviews now.
yeah.
Like, how often do you get an honest interview out of someone who hasn't just kicked someone in the balls? Topical, Draymond Green.
Topical dream. I mean, it won't
Oh, wait,
be
no, he
topical
stomped
at
on
this time.
someone.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, not only was that a week ago as of recording this, when this episode releases, that'll be like a
Everyone's
month and a
going to
half
remember,
ago.
though, when the Warriors are out of the playoffs.
Yeah, hopefully. But yeah, I don't know. I just think that it was really weak, like the Goon Squad.
Do you want to know the real reason why these players are in it?
Why?
Because they're all Nike athletes. And Clay's not, but he's with that weird Chinese sneaker, so that
Okay.
it doesn't matter, so he can be in the movie. But they're in here because they're Nike athletes. It would be
Interesting.
so much more interesting if you're going to play off the personalities, if you actually got like stars. Because like Barkley was a star. Ewing was a star. Muggsy Bogues was iconic.
Yeah,
The tall guy, they just kind of got a tall guy.
because he's tall guy. Yeah.
But like if you're like getting Giannis, if you're getting Curry, if you're getting all these guys
genuinely,
that are like
if they got like
cool
Giannis,
and interesting.
Curry, who else would be fun? I do think Dame is like
I think
one.
Dame works. I think Clay works if Curry's there.
Yeah.
But it makes no
But then, like,
sense
make
to
them
have
some-
a Splash Brother be Wet Fire because it's not like we call him Splash Boy or something. Like
We do
they're
not
the
call him
Splash
Splash Boy.
Brothers. They're not
Yeah.
like singular. Like there's Chef Curry. I
Yeah.
don't think Clay has one because he's not that big of a player.
Yeah.
But like they're the Splash Brothers. You've split them up. So why is he water?
And I just like to say something. The only thing that made me... I didn't laugh, actually, the whole time. I want that to be known. I didn't laugh a single time in the movie. That security guard scene, like, I liked.
You got a smirk.
But I still didn't laugh. The closest I came to laughing was when Klay Thompson had the ball... and his, like, water's going everywhere, and he's, like, splashing the ball around, and then he walks through someone, and, not exaggerating how bad the line read was on this, goes, "Entering the splash zone." Thanks, Clay.
I think the best joke in the movie.
Also, I want to clarify, I didn't laugh at that because, like,
No, I
they
know.
meant it to be funny. It was
Oh,
just
I know.
so shit.
I think the best joke in the movie is the Michael Jordan joke,
Yeah.
where Sylvester comes in, he's like, "Guys, I found Michael Jordan," and the Toons are literally ecstatic because they like Michael better.
Even LeBron is, like, excited
Really?
because he's like, "Oh, damn, we might win. If we could get Michael."
And then the guys walking in, they're like talking about Michael Jordan, and then it's Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
I think that's the best joke in the movie.
And I do like that then Daffy looks at his clipboard and he
scratched off Michael Jordan and wrote "Fire Sylvester." Or something.
trade Sylvester. Yeah. I like that.
So this movie's bad. Oh, there was an article I was going to look up. Actually, I don't need to. I looked up an article of all the cross promotion in this movie.
Mm-hmm. It's just too much, I'm assuming.
Yeah. I scrolled through it and it's like, I don't know why this is in here, but like we've got Vogue and GQ in the thing or whatever. Like they even had an Aquaman poster behind Sarah Silverman in her office.
Yeah. Well, like the thing is, for the last like half of the movie, nearly every single, like you could pause any frame and it would be both like, there's way too much going on. I don't know what I'm supposed to be looking at or paying attention to.
And it
but
looks
also,
muddy.
there's nothing happening.
Yeah.
There's literally nothing going on and nothing to be invested in at all.
I did write down a couple of jokes I liked. I think at one point someone said when they went into the serververse, "Why's the computer got to be black?" I thought that was funny. I think it was like LeBron when
He was
Alfie
just
started
like
talking.
"Oh, the computer's black."
Yeah, he's like, "Why's the computer black?" And I was like, "Oh, it's kind of funny. That's a
And then
good joke."
I think Don Cheadle was just like, I forget what he even said in return. I don't even know if
he
it was
even said
acknowledged.
anything. And then there's the part where Don Cheadle's like pretending he's at the Apple Genius bar or something, and then he turns into LeBron for a second. And I was like, "Oh, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
But then, like, here's the other thing about the jokes: is there's a lot of jokes at Anthony Davis's expense,
Dude,
coming from LeBron.
There's literally a part where
LeBron's
LeBron
like,
tells him to shave his unibrow because it's not doing him any favors and it looks bad.
like, what the fuck?
That's like basically what he says. And then
Why?
but then Anthony Davis has a line where he like goes, "Oh, what the hell?" or
yeah,
something like
he's
that.
just like, "Oh man."
Yeah, and I'm like, AD, you really gonna take this from your teammate / friend? He's literally on a, like, the big screen talking about how your eyebrows make you look ugly.
In a majorly released theatrical film, he's destroying your brand.
Yeah.
But 80s brand is fucking soft anyway.
Honestly, I think he should have shaved his unibrow.
Yeah, the brow is, like,
years
horrible.
and years and years ago.
The only jokes that you can seem to like make about LeBron in the movie that were like allowed, because I think he was a producer on the movie, along with Ryan Coogler, who worked on the movie. Like his media company did, Proximity Media.
Yeah.
And his brother, I think, helped write the movie.
Interesting.
He also helped write like Creed, I think. So he's done one good movie.
Just a real quick interjection.
Yeah.
I do find it so weird just because we were talking about the beginning part being like actually LeBron's life.
Yeah.
It's not even like they were like, and he's a crazy basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
It was like he was a high school menace, and then he was drafted by Cleveland and did really well, then moved to Miami and won rings, and then went back to Cleveland. Cleveland, this is for you. And then he went to the Lakers, a kid from Akron, Ohio. And I'm like, you can even bring up all the teams and like accolades, but specifically being like he's from Akron, Ohio goes, this is actual real life.
Yeah,
actual
this is real LeBron.
James.
Yeah. It's not like LeBron James. I did air quotes. LeBron James.
Yeah, it's actually him. Fake family, fake friends, fake everything.
Yeah, the only thing you can make fun of about him in the movie, it seems, is like the moving teams thing.
Yeah.
That's the only like personal thing you can make fun of, or he let them make fun of him
Well, yeah,
for,
Don
and
Cheadle
like
makes
the
a joke
ring
where it's
stuff.
Oh, he's not very committed. Watch out, Lakers.
Yeah,
And it's just like, okay.
and it's like, anyway, how 47 minutes? Jeez,
there was
I have a question here.
Yeah.
Do you think Algie wants to be Dom's dad? Is
Yeah,
that
I wrote
the end
that
goal?
too. It's weird. He wants to like make Dom hate LeBron, but also love. That's why I like part of why I brought up Algie Rhythm getting angry at Dom and how it makes no sense for his plan. It's mostly because he's like trying to make Dom his son the whole time.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand how he's like, yeah, this is a good idea. Yeah, Dom's gonna be my son now.
Yeah.
I guess because he's a computer, he doesn't know what families are.
I don't know, man. It's very weird.
What do you think of Ernie's appearance?
I love Ernie Johnson, and I do like Lil Rel Howery, and I thought they were pretty good as two little commentators.
Two little commentators.
But, like, I feel like Lil Rel Howery was, like, mostly just like, well, this is crazy. Well, this is crazy.
Yeah.
But Ernie did a pretty good job of being like, I don't know what's going on.
Because he was sitting at a desk with no context and was going, and actually didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
He was at a desk in front of a green screen.
Yeah.
What a fucking guy. Jeez.
Love Ernie.
So let's talk a little bit about like the.
I'll be honest though. Sorry.
No, it's
when
okay.
because Ernie appears before Lil Rel does, and I was so sure it was gonna be Chuck.
I wish it was.
I
but
thought it was
he
gonna be
doesn't
Charles
like.
Barkley.
He doesn't really do shit like that anymore.
No, but he was in the last one, so I was like, maybe he'll be
Yeah.
in this one as a little callback. But no. Instead, it was Lil Rel, which is fine, I guess.
So let me just. I'm trying to find a list of all the places they go to get the Looney Tunes.
Can I spout some off?
Yeah.
So Bugs they get from Toon World because he's the only one
Yeah.
there because all his friends left him. Which was interesting because they show a flashback of Algie Rhythm being like, hey guys, there's better life somewhere else. You don't want to be on Toon World.
Yeah.
And then later when Algie Rhythm sees the Looney Tunes again, he goes, all you washed up, nobody loves you. And I'm like, whoa, you were like,
Yeah.
Anyway.
So they go to Mad Max.
Well, no. First, they go
We're
to
gonna
DC
do it
World,
order.
get Daffy and Porky Pig.
Porky, yeah.
And then they go to Mad Max, I think, and get
Wiley,
Roadrunner, and Wiley.
No, they get someone else there too. I think not Sam. No, I don't know. I think they get someone else, but
They
continue.
get someone else as well. And then obviously they get Lola from Wonder Woman World.
They get Granny and Speedy from Matrix, which I think that was pretty.
That was
fun.
interesting, but it was also this thing of like, I feel like I should love this, but it was just an exact recreation of the scene. So it's like they're just doing this so that I can be like Matrix.
Yeah.
So it was like that was with a lot of things. Even when they did a very brief Game of Thrones thing, it wasn't very long. I was just like, is this cool?
Oh wait, I wrote down. Let's start getting into the questions so we can start wrapping this fucking thing
Sure.
up.
I'd like to say one last
Yeah.
just point that I hated, which is, I guess, every point. But they gave so much, like, quote unquote tech talk to Dom, where like they get into the serververse and Dom's like, whoa, this must be some like tri-fixed geocode virtual
Is
reality.
it agitated or no?
Yeah, and they give him so much dialogue that's like tech related.
And it's supposed to be like, this kid's smart. Look how smart this kid is.
But it just sounds like absolute mumbo jumbo.
You know how I know the
nothing.
kid's smart? He made a fucking video game.
Yeah.
We're done.
Yeah.
I don't need him to say like, oh, is it a quad-core processor with 65 gigs of RAM?
Yeah. And also something that I just hate in movies in general, near the end when Dom and LeBron are talking because they're about to face each other in this game.
Mm-hmm.
That's the moment, LeBron, where you say, hey, I don't know if Algorithm told you this, but if like my team loses, literally everybody here is stuck here and the Looney Tunes get deleted. And then Dom, because he's a pretty nice kid, probably goes, oh shit, I didn't know that. But
And
instead
then we wrap the
LeBron's
movie
like,
up 30 minutes
are you
earlier.
sure you want to do this, son? Or something.
Yeah.
And it's just like, just say the thing that will get you out of this situation. And it's like, oh, but then there's not a movie. Okay, then write the movie better.
Yeah. Honestly, I think there should be more time where they're recruiting people.
Yeah.
I think that's the interesting part,
Yeah.
and they fly through it.
And more training. There's literally
there's no training.
There's one very short montage of Granny driving a car over I don't know, man.
So we fly through the world of Warner Brothers, the serververse. We see all those planets. I wrote them down. We've got Game of Thrones, Noir / Casablanca, because that's like the only one they reference.
Yeah.
Harry Potter, Wizard of Oz, and Matrix, it seems.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird. I guess there's the DC one in there too. There's Mad Max world. There's all those other ones. Yeah. Is there a world you'd want to be in the most?
Harry Potter. That's the easy pick.
Yeah, you're kind of a little
go to Harry
stank
Potter world,
for it.
the Wizarding World.
I'd probably want to go the DC superhero one. I like them the most, I guess.
I mean, and even if you just want things to be as normal as possible, that's the one to go to as well, because it's literally just a city.
They don't. I don't think they own Fast and Furious. Universal's different. Yeah. If I would go in Fast
Warner
and
Brothers,
Furious,
though, you could go into the Dark Knight.
I guess, or the Batman.
Or the Batman.
Actually, it'd be pretty fucking cool to go into the like Tim Burton Batmans.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to live there.
I'd probably like do a little staycation.
A little staycation.
Yeah, get that Ontario staycation credit.
Yeah.
The CRA striking. That's topical.
Stop saying that's topical after you say anything real.
I got a shit.
Same. Want to do it together?
No, you're stinky and you're disgusting.
Yep.
What would your like wet fire sort of style power be in the game?
Oh, what would my power be? I don't have to come up with a name.
No. Okay. Well, add a name if you can, but
probably if I'm coming up with something silly, probably genuinely, and I hate that this is my gut instinct, probably something poop or fart related.
Yeah, I know it would be. Yeah, I know. You're a little dirt boy.
Like
you're
I
a
shove
dirty
the
little
entire
boy.
basketball in my ass. Do
Yeah,
a big
and then you
fart,
shoot
and
it.
I get like 5,000 points.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's
and I guess
really
my
cool.
name would
I
be
love
like,
that.
Be like
Prostate Man.
Prostate Man.
The prostate.
That's a bad one.
Oh yeah, I shove the basketball in my ass and I shoot it out and I get 5,000 points. What would my power
NBA-ness.
be? Oh god.
NBA-ness, that's mine. Go ahead, yours.
Fuck. That'd be a good like charity name for them to do like male prostate like
NBA-ness.
Yeah, if they were like, this month is NBA-ness month. Check your prostates, men.
Every player will be getting their prostates checked at halftime. That's the halftime show. Instead of like someone balancing hula hoops or some shit.
Does Cartoon Network own Ben 10? Or does Warner Brothers own Cartoon Network?
I don't think so.
Okay, because I'd want to go in Ben 10. That'd be pretty fucking sick. Dude,
Yeah,
I love
you know
Ben
what?
10.
I know it's a Warner Brothers thing, but what's like any world you'd go into regardless?
I like Ben 10 a lot.
Ben 10?
I've been thinking about it a lot this last week. The fact that you got to watch, like, you can turn into 10, maybe more people. Let's look at your DVD, see if it sparks any inspiration. You'd probably want to go into Star Wars.
Probably, yeah. If I got to choose the era, yeah.
Oh, what era? Pre or post Yavin? Fucking nerd.
Probably before Battle of Yavin. Probably in the.
I guess Marvel would be kind of cool.
I guess.
But I feel like
but
have
Marvel
to, like,
is just like our world.
I feel like I'd have to tell a bunch of dumbass fucking jokes.
Yeah.
Be like, your name's Hugamawugsies?
You'd be getting married and it would be like, Calder, do you take this woman as your lawfully wedded wife? And you'd be like, she's white behind me, isn't she?
Oi, oi, oi.
Or you'd say no, and then you'd go, wait, that's not what I meant. I was saying no to whether or
Doctor
not...
Strange. Anyway, I like super speed, so it'd probably be something like that.
Oh, go to Speed Racer.
I don't know if Warner Brothers owns that, but I'd like that.
Well, no, we said anything.
I guess that's not what we're talking about, huh? I guess they probably do. It's a Wachowski movie.
Yeah, maybe.
But I'd want to be like, for the basketball game, some sort of speed power. I like going quick, like some Roadrunner kind of thing.
Yeah. One thing, actually, now that you brought up Roadrunner, you know when they all of a sudden brought that weird machine out onto the court?
And it shot 150 fucking basketballs in, and the one guy went into it, and then he became 150 things.
Yeah,
the
they
duplicator.
Cloned Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah.
Made no sense.
No, of course it didn't. None of the fucking movie makes sense.
Okay, anyway, continue.
What would you want to see in a Space Jam style movie? So like a race jam, like a skate jam. I think we kind of answered this already. Probably
I think Skate Jam would, honestly.
I feel like maybe you could do Skate Jam, hockey, and boarding.
Interesting.
That could be interesting.
The thing is, like, basketball's the only sport that I really watch. Maybe, like, glove jam or
baseball?
bat jam. Do a little baseball thing. Because I feel like baseball is, like...
Baseball's a great movie sport.
That's what I was going to say, yeah. Is I think that it's like...
Sorry for
No, it's okay. Because I couldn't figure out how to say it, so you kind of helped me out. But, yeah, I don't know. I think that baseball's a really good movie sport. I feel like, especially with the Looney Tunes, I feel like there's a ton of really fun things you could do with that. Get Shohei Ohtani in there.
That would be cool. A Shohei Ohtani bat jam or something?
Bat jam. Space bat.
Whoa. Space Run.
Wait, what if they called it Space Slam instead of Space Jam?
Slam Jam.
Slam Jam. Grand Jam. Grand.
Thoughts on the GOAT conversation? Michael versus LeBron versus Kareem.
Like my thoughts on it in the movie?
In the real life.
Or in real life.
You know,
in the
there's
movie,
Bill Russell, there's Tim Duncan.
In the movie, the only way they reference it is whenever they reference Michael Jordan. But, like, then there's one point where Don Cheadle is talking to Dom, and I think Dom makes a comment about LeBron being the greatest athlete
and then Don's
of all
like,
time.
to some people.
Yeah, and then he goes, well, it's still up in the air. Jury's out on that one.
I think it's probably LeBron at this point. You play like 20 whatever years.
I just think they're not, like, honestly, I kind of hate talking about it.
They're not really comparable, I guess.
Because, like, Michael Jordan three-peat twice.
Yeah.
And he's, like, was the most dominant by far of his time. But, like, LeBron's longevity...
He's made the finals like 10 years. How many years in a row did he make the finals?
Well, also, I was watching, there was a video where Kevin Durant was trying to say every MVP going backwards. So he was like, Jokic, Giannis, Harden.
He hasn't
Westbrook.
won a lot of MVPs.
Well, he's won 4.
Yeah.
But, like, he won 2, and then Derrick Rose won, and then LeBron won 2 more.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure in the Derrick Rose year, LeBron was, like, one of the...
I think he was close.
...candidates. So, like, if he wins that, he 5-peat. Well, he probably doesn't. People probably get, like, voter fatigue.
Yeah, they're probably like, we can't vote LeBron again.
I think voter fatigue is one of the stupidest things ever. Just vote for the one that's best.
This will not be topical by the time that we...
Well, no, I just
released.
mean not even with NBA MVP. I mean with literally anything.
Yeah.
It's just
but like with the MVP this year, it's kind of just been fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's been
They're just
very
like,
dumb.
We can't vote Jokic again because like if it's 3, then that's like a big thing. And it's like, okay, well,
but was he the most valuable player this season?
Yeah,
probably.
Eat my ass.
I
think LeBron probably like there's a case that he might have deserved a couple more MVPs depending on who you are. But he made the finals like, what, 10, 11, 12 times?
I will say, like, I would still say Michael Jordan's the GOAT just because, like, I don't know. When you have something like so-and-so is the Michael Jordan of whatever, it's hard not to.
It's like with Google or like Kleenex.
Yeah, he just kind of is that guy.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say is a lot of people go against LeBron by being like, yo, well, every time Michael Jordan made it to the finals, he won. LeBron's been to the finals a bunch of times and not won. It's like, okay, second place?
Yeah. It's like him losing the finals makes him last place.
Yeah. Like they'd almost, like LeBron's legacy would be better if he didn't make it to the finals than if he made it to the finals and lost.
Jordan's legacy seems to end after the Bulls for some reason, even though he played like with the Wizards and was like kind of on these shitty teams for a long time.
Yeah.
And he's driving the Charlotte Hornets into the fucking ground.
Apparently he's thinking of selling his stake, but like the weird thing is, like I said, it's almost as if LeBron not making the finals would help his legacy more than if he made it and lost. Because I guess it's like,
that's just a stupid argument.
It's people being like, oh, I guess sometimes you can't handle the pressure of the finals. It's like, it's not like he's been to the finals 12 times and 11
swept.
of those he got swept and did poorly.
Yeah.
He did well every single time. It's just sometimes you don't win. Anyway, it's
fuck, marry, kill. Red fluffy guy. You know the big
the big square.
Sylvester and Elmer Fudd. And now remember, the big red fluffy guy, when they strip him of his pants, he's pretty skinny.
Yeah, I'd probably marry big red fluffy guy.
Good to cuddle.
I mean, he didn't really do anything negative the whole time. He just seems like a nice guy. Sylvester, I guess I'd fuck just because...
He's a racist.
Is he?
He doesn't recognize different black people. He thinks they all look the same.
That's actually a great point. Kill Sylvester. I'll fuck Elmer Fudd.
Yeah,
he's
he might
literally
shoot
just
you,
a pile of flabby flesh.
He might shoot you. It's okay.
That's fine. As long as I don't go, what's up, Doc?
I've got another surprise for you.
Oh, fucking hell. If you give me that, he's doing it. Okay, good. So a while ago, I was in Dollarama and I saw a Space Jam: A New Legacy LeBron James Robin from DC action figure, and I thought, that's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. And I bought it for Calder for his birthday, and then he came over before his birthday and saw it and was like, nice action figure. And I was like, fuck. This surprise is ruined. I just gave it to him. I thought he was about to give that to me.
I've got something else for you. Something that you might actually appreciate more.
Okay, we'll see. I doubt it.
With this copy of Space Jam.
Okay, I was hoping that's what it was.
You can watch Michael and...
Why did you buy me 2 Blu-rays? Was that also bargain bin?
Yeah, this is bargain bin.
Then honestly, that's worth it.
I only
that's
get
a nice
you bargain
gift.
bin shit.
What?
I only get you bargain bin shit. You're a bargain bin boy.
Can I see it?
Yeah, of course.
So Calder has gotten me the Blu-ray for the actual first Space Jam.
Now the thing with that one is I think there might be some fun special features and like featurettes on it because
commentary by Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, and the director.
Are you joking?
Not joking.
That's insane. I love that.
Maybe we'll watch that. And then featurette called Jammin' with Bugs Bunny and Michael Jordan, and then 2 music videos. Fly Like an Eagle by Seal and Monsters Anthem Hit 'em High by the Movie Cast.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either.
Danny DeVito's in that. It's fucking sick.
Yeah.
Well,
honestly, for you giving me Dirty Grandpa last week,
this makes up for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was genuinely like, if he gives me actual Space Jam on Blu-ray, I'll be happy. If it's almost anything else, I'll be upset. So thanks for that, man.
I saw that in the shortstop when I went for my walk today, and I was like, oh.
Wait, did you get both of these today?
No, I got Dirty Grandpa like 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
Adam Driver.
Yeah.
This might be controversial. I think we put him in the LeBron spot. I'd love to see Adam Driver in like a half animated movie. I think that'd be cool.
I think that could be
It doesn't really fit with the plot, but also like the plot's like absolutely nothing.
Can I do something really... that's an interesting pick. I really wasn't expecting you to recast LeBron. I'd like to recast LeBron as well, but not with Adam Driver. I'd like to recast him with someone else.
Steph Curry?
Or Giannis.
I think Giannis.
Giannis would be so fun because that's the thing. Even if that movie's bad, because Giannis is bad at acting or something,
he's charming.
He's at least he's very charming and likable. Not that LeBron's not likable. He's just very corny.
There's so much baggage with LeBron at this point, though, and he's still playing, and like he doesn't. I feel like Giannis would probably make fun of himself more. He's a little less self-serious, which is fine. That LeBron is that guy, but like,
Giannis is the guy who's movie. Like, yeah, I know I just won back-to-back MVP, or no, I won MVP. I'm not the best player in the world until I win another. He wins another and he goes, I'm not the best player in the world till I win a championship. He wins a championship. He's like, I'm not the best player in the world until whatever. Like, because he's also won like defensive player of the year. But like he's just a very humble guy. This movie spends like at least 25% of its time kind of jerking LeBron off. Yeah,
it shows that LeBron is not, at least in the movie, we'll say, but I get the impression, and he doesn't have to be, that in his real life he might not be the most humble guy.
Yeah. I will say though, unlike the first Space Jam, LeBron does like fail to score a basket one time. I think he gets blocked, which like in the first Space Jam, I think Michael Jordan scores a total of like 10 points over the whole span of the movie, but like he scores all of them.
Yeah.
LeBron actually like fails one time, which I'll give him that.
Yeah, but it's like he doesn't know the rules of the game, so it's like kind of unfair. So like it's not his fault.
Yeah.
Right? Because they have like powers and shit.
Yeah. But so the recasting I would do, I would put Adam Driver, as much as it hurts me to say because I love him, in the Don Cheadle role.
I think that's fair.
I think he'd make a decent algae rhythm. I think he could be a bit more actually intimidating, but still have a little bit of goofs in there.
He's got a little more of that like villain thing.
Yeah, Don Cheadle is a little bit too nice of a guy.
I guess Don Cheadle's just, not that I remember at least, played like a villain. He's played antagonists.
Sure.
But he hasn't played like a villain. Like, and he's probably just not gotten the chance because I think a lot of actors like to play villains.
Mm-hmm.
But like Adam Driver's played like some villains that are good, like Kylo. And stuff. I'm definitely forgetting a Don Cheadle villain right now, but
sure. Yeah. He's definitely been a villain before, but I don't know what in. So yeah, I'd probably replace Don Cheadle. I'd probably cast Don Cheadle as Malik, the friend. I think he'd be interesting there. I don't know.
I think we just need more live action stuff in this movie too. And somehow there's less in a movie that's like 25 or 30% longer than the original. Because the original's like an hour and a half.
Yeah, what's the runtime? I've literally got it right here. It's this was a good idea. 87 minutes. So it's under an hour and a half.
Yeah. And this one is 2 hours long. It's a hard 2 hours.
Yeah.
By the time the basketball game starts in this movie, we're in the third act in that movie.
Yeah.
It's winding up.
Yeah.
And I think the basketball, like, that means that they're like both starting an hour in, but the basketball game's just not an hour fucking long in the fucking second one.
Because here's the thing about the first Space Jam movie. Is it a like really good movie? No. But it's like, it's got a lot of heart and it doesn't really, like, it knows what it is.
Yeah.
This movie very much feels like it's trying to be like, yeah, this is the new Space Jam.
Yeah.
But it's like, this is the new Space Jam, you know?
Yeah, they're saying it with a different inflection.
You know what I mean, you know?
Yeah. You know what I mean.
You know?
Yep. Rank? Is this worse than Cats? That's the question here.
Are you asking me? Because I kind of made you answer first last time. So we ranked Cats last, even under 65. We didn't really talk about how it compares to 65 last episode. We talked about it a bit off pod after, and it basically came down to at least 65 has moments.
Yeah, and there's like, I can remember something in 65. There's like an interesting concept. There's like a plot.
Yeah. Cats is nothing.
Yeah.
So if I had to choose, and this is a little bit weird because we are kind of competing this week, not for anything. We didn't like set up stakes.
Yeah.
But so I promise you I'm telling the truth and not just trying to win.
Pinkies?
Pinky promise. Here's the pinky.
You're going to say it's not worse than Cats.
I don't think it's worse than Cats.
Why?
I don't think it's worse than Cats because at least for the last bit of the movie, which I'll say it, could arguably be the worst part. at least there's some enjoyment to be had in the fact that like
The movie's
LeBron
ending?
is hitting dance moves and dabbing, and like people are. It's just like, I do think it gets. I think for the first 2/3 of the movie, it's just so bad. But then I do think that the last third of the movie just enters so bad it's good territory.
I don't think that at all.
So bad it's good isn't
Dude,
right.
this movie gave me a heart condition. And that's not a fake. I have a heart condition. I have a weak valves because of this movie.
Okay.
Cats put me to sleep. This movie is like...
Are you genuinely arguing that this is worse than Cats?
So, here's the thing that I think makes it maybe like... I haven't been this negative about the movie, but where it goes into deplorable territory
Yeah.
is all the like Spawn Con corporate shit.
Oh, yeah.
That Cats doesn't have. It's literally just like a big advertisement. It's kind of gross. You're just kind of trying to feed it to kids. Just like, I don't know. I find it much more deplorable than like a kind of bad movie with boring songs and like no real plot.
You know what? That might honestly be like why the little Harry Potter references didn't make me excited as a Harry Potter fan. It's because it's not for me to get excited because I'm already a Harry Potter fan. It's for little kids to go, LeBron James and Harry Potter. Maybe I should watch Harry Potter.
Yeah. Or like The Matrix or like Casablanca or like
that granny scene was cool. I want to see that.
Yeah, it's just like it's just so shameless and so like gross. Even like I mentioned the Sarah Silverman having the Aquaman poster. There's like references to like magazines that Warner Brothers owns. There's like a bunch of shit. The fact that there's only Nike athletes, the fact that they show the Nike logo when he crashes into Toonland, like it's like in the veil, it's trying to use the veil of like being comedy or being funny or being like silly thing. Yeah. But it's literally just an advertisement. So like
the whole thing is an ad.
Cats doesn't have that.
That's true.
That's for the better. I'll say if they started wearing like Jordans,
honestly,
in Cats,
if
that'd be rough.
Cats, they were like plugging Supreme clothing, I think it might honestly make it better.
I don't think that's true. I just think like this is a more deplorable movie because at least they were trying to make art instead of a commercial.
But the thing is it a more deplorable movie? Maybe, but is it a worse movie?
I think it's worse because it's like the thing with Cats is they were trying to do something. Like there was an attempt at something. They released it in December because they thought it could be something. It could be an Oscars play.
Yeah.
It could be an awards thing.
Yeah, but but the thing is they completely missed the mark. Like here in Space Jam: A New Legacy, at least they like knew what they were doing, which was we're making an ad and it's the movie's probably gonna be just fine, but this is like mostly to plug our brands. But Cats was like, we are going to be the next big Broadway musical brought to the big screen. We're going to be getting Oscars. We're going to be getting hundreds of millions of dollars. And it wasn't any of that because it was a deplorable piece of shit. That was just like, there was no enjoyment to be had in that film.
It's not like the Cats did anything bad, though. It's not like there's like...
What a weird thing to say.
Like... It's not like it's just a boring movie, right? Like that's bad enough. This is a boring movie where world logic doesn't make sense. The screenplay doesn't make sense. There's a lot of plot holes that we just pointed out. I'm sure there's some in Cats too, like the scaling, but like the fact that Dom's mom can just kind of talk or not talk to them at will. Or like,
but here's the thing.
The fact that the basketball game at the end makes no fucking sense. The fact that all of this is wrapped up in an ad. That they weren't trying to make something. It's not art, but they were trying to make art with Cats. They were not trying to make art with Space Jam 2.
Yeah, but if I'm trying to make art and I take a big ol' shit on the canvas and give it to you, you're not going to be like, this is, at least you tried. Versus if someone like handed you a crayon drawing and was like, I wasn't trying to make art, I just wrote the word bread.
This is a big old shit on a canvas with a Nike logo on it.
Okay.
It's worse.
Man, this is going to be hard. Because
said.
I've thought about this for a while.
Uh-huh.
Like for the past week or so, I've been really like racking my brain on whether or not like which one of these two movies is worse. And I just keep coming back to like, I just like every time I think about Cats, I get sad. Every time I think about Cats, I get like upset. When I think about Space Jam: A New Legacy, I'm like, man, that's bad. But like with Cats, I like have a visceral, real, negative, emotional, and physical feeling.
Mm-hmm.
But when I think about Space Jam: A New Legacy, I just think about Porky Pig rapping, which is just like whatever.
So when you laid out like what they thought they were going to do with Cats, where it's like next big Broadway adaptation, like that sort of stuff. Here's what they thought when they were doing Space Jam 2. A sequel to Space Jam 1, which we don't need.
True.
That's going to get us hopefully another $1 billion in merchandising.
Yeah.
Going to advertise our platform, HBO Max, or whatever the fuck it's called now. Topical. Mm-hmm. A commercial for LeBron and Nike, his brand. Now, granted, they have some Jordans, I think, in the original one. So that's not too much different.
Sure.
With no real plot or story, that's underpaying, and they did this with Cats too, underpaying its VFX workers, having shitty VFX, no real art to how it's shot. They tried to shoot some parts of Cats in an interesting way.
But here's what it comes down to, Calder.
We said it looked like a commercial when he was at the basketball hoop.
Yeah.
There's something in Cats where they're like, we're going to move the camera. We're going to have these effects. We're going to have a strong take on something. Okay, but then think
about all the animated portions you said you liked.
There's 10 or 15 minutes in there that I like that's immediately undercut by the rest of the movie.
Okay, how many minutes of Cats did you, this is the key word, like?
Yeah, I guess Bugs Bunny puts this one over Cats.
Well,
if that's
honestly,
what, like,
it might come down to at
literally
least this
the
movie
5
has
minutes
the
of
Looney Tunes in it.
Yeah, man. Oh, wow. I hate that that's it.
Because, like, here's genuinely what it comes down to. If right now I was like, we're going to watch either Space Jam: A New Legacy or we're going to watch Cats, which one would you choose if you had to pick one? Because mine's pretty easy, honestly.
It's Space Jam?
Yeah. Like, I
guess I could be like, yeah, I can't wait for that 10 minutes with Bugs.
Well, because here is the thing, though. Like, I think that if, like, you, Olivia, and I watched both of those movies together, I think Cats, we would spend most of the time quiet, and then once in a while be like...
She unzipped her skin.
Yeah, she unzipped her skin. Or just be like, man... Yeah. Wow, this is just like... But with Space Jam, I feel like there's more to joke about. Because, like, okay, in the last episode, the Cats episode, you mentioned, like...
the movie's not fun to watch, but it's fun to talk about?
Yes, that's what it was. Where you were like, at least this movie is, like, fun to talk about, but not to watch.
This movie's not fun to talk about.
Well, we just did for, like...
We were angry most of the time. We were angry.
Yeah, we were angry, but we still talked about it. And, like, we're still laughing and goofing about how stupid, like, Don Cheadle's character and, like, all the stupid... Man. I just, like... Here's the thing.
I think you kind of got me with the Looney Tunes thing, where it's like, yeah, you liked, like, 10 minutes, so...
Yeah.
That's more than 0.
Yeah.
Or, like, however long it is when the little mice come on the screen. I like that, little cockroaches.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I feel like the positives about Cats are like thinking about how bad it is while not watching. Because, like, this is what I'll say. Like, talking about James Corden jumping into garbage and eating a bunch of food, I'm like,
that's fun.
talking about it, that's so stupid that it's funny, but actually watching it, it's not. It's kind of just like painful to watch. With this movie, I do feel like there were a couple times, especially near the end of the movie, where you're just like, wow, whoa, that is so stupid. You know, I don't know. I genuinely would like to applaud you and myself for picking movies so close to the same level of bad
that it comes down to how long Bugs was on the screen.
Oh, we have to talk about this.
Okay.
Bugs Bunny dies.
Oh, right.
Bugs Bunny, because
yeah.
they do this thing where like LeBron's signature like step back move,
which
is
I
a
guess
glitch
is
in the
his
game.
move,
I guess, but it's like it's a glitch in the game, and whoever does the move gets deleted. So Bugs Bunny does the move, but then they like do this slow-mo bit where like 5 different characters have like 20 words of dialogue in the span of 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Because they keep going slow-mo and going to characters being like, no, Bugs. And then he's like, I have to do this. It's like, okay, sorry. I'm sorry. The time's passed. It's just so bad. But he shoots it. He glitches out. They draw it out for like another 20 seconds where LeBron like goes to dunk the ball, and then Dom like throws the jump boost thing. It's like, how is this happening in this short amount of time? Anyway, Bugs dies.
Chronos.
They go back to Looney Tunes world, and he like phases like so like he got snapped by Thanos.
He's the
He's
Messiah.
ascending to heaven. Like genuinely, when that you know what? I said I didn't laugh in the entire movie. I did burst out laughing when he literally glowed like a heavenly spirit and phased into the air. But then all of a sudden he shows up in the real world with LeBron. So then I was like, oh, maybe he didn't die. He just like
transcended the serververse.
Yeah, like he was expelled from the serververse and Toon World, so now he's in the real world. But then he goes, I brought the whole gang. So it's like, wait, so did he phase away and then immediately come back and be like, hey guys, let's go check on LeBron?
And I guess we didn't really talk about their like realistic character models.
It's just whatever. I don't really care.
They're so ugly.
They're so ugly. Oh, we didn't even talk about LeBron's like the actual storyline throughout the movie, which is LeBron doesn't accept his son because his son makes games and doesn't focus on basketball. And LeBron needs to realize that he needs to let his son be himself, which he does by realizing that he needs to let the Looney Tunes be loony. And then there's an E3 game coding camp, which doesn't exist, by the way.
You looked it up?
Well, I've never heard of that. E3 is just a convention. E3 doesn't even exist anymore. Like, there's an E3 game coding camp the same weekend as basketball camp.
And
that's
the
like
week before, he's deciding between the two.
Yeah.
So they've paid for both.
My assumption, which we should have gotten a scene or something, my assumption was that like his mom knew that he wanted to go to this camp,
so she
but was
got him
like,
into the camp?
I'll get you into the camp, but you have to tell your dad yourself. But we never got that scene.
No, of course not. Why would you keep like a female character on screen for more than like half a second? Why would you give them anything to do?
Does this movie pass the Bechdel test? I don't think it does.
No.
Not even Lola Bunny talks to
Oh, I guess Steven Yeun's in it too. We didn't say that.
Oh, yeah, Steven. Dude, I'm like pretty certain that all of the actors in this didn't actually like audition and want to do this. They're just doing favors for LeBron.
I think they were,
especially Don Cheadle.
I think they were asked, and then a lot of them, it was like a day or two. Because Don's just doing this shit on a green screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, okay.
I just had to mention Bugs
so it's second
transcending.
Last. It's second last.
Are you okay with that?
I think so.
You think the Looney Tunes are enough?
I think he got me with the he goes to Toontown for 5 minutes and there's some wacky stuff that goes on.
Yeah. Well, because I just want I feel like it's worth noting that in this review, at least 1 or 2 times you said, I did like that part. I'm not sure that happened a single time for either
I said
of us.
I like the little rats and I like the little cockroaches.
But did you like the little rats?
Yeah,
or
I
did
thought
you
they
think
were
it
kinda
was
funny?
Okay.
And then, look, I said I hated it, but I kind of did like it when Rebel Wilson did the improv shit because it was so bad.
Yeah.
Other than that, like, we're kind of done. Like, nothing else in that movie is kind of good. So,
are you okay with this?
I am.
'cause
I'm a
went
little
into this-
disappointed that it wasn't last.
Sure.
I'm just a little disappointed that, like, I technically lost because I didn't pick the most
Well, you could
deplorable
s-
piece of shit.
You could still win for the best. We'll see. But
Have you watched Close Encounters yet?
Yeah, I watched Close Encounters. I had not seen it previously.
Oh, I know. Came with the same year as Star Wars.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that on a
But
later
Close
episode.
Encounters came out first, didn't it? Because I'm pretty.
No.
Oh, no.
Star Wars was May, and then Close Encounters was November.
Okay. Anyway, so next week will be my pick for best movie, which is Booksmart.
Yes.
We'll see how that goes. But as of right now, Space Jam: A New Legacy, number 22 on our list, under 65.
And above Cats.
And above Cats, barely, I think.
Yeah. I think they're in a tier of their own.
Well, I think
65 is a tier above.
Yeah, I think the tier goes like Cats and Space Jam are both like absolute shit bottom tier. And I'm not sure that we'll have a movie that is in that realm for a while.
I don't think so. Unless we do another one of these months.
65 and Hardcore Henry, I think, are in a tier.
Yeah. Of like action movies that didn't quite get there with their premise.
Yeah. And then I think everything else kind of just falls into like
yeah,
meh,
more or less.
Okay, good, great, amazing. Like, because honestly, like, The Batman is number 17 out of 23 on our list. That's really low, but like, that's a good movie.
Yeah.
Because obviously we're not picking mostly bad movies.
No, because I don't think we want this to be a bad movie podcast, but that's for a later date.
Yep. Next week is Booksmart.
Yes.
Thanks for listening to this
I think
episode.
that might be on Netflix or something. So
yeah, I think it
check
is on
that
Netflix.
out if you can.
I have it on Blu-ray.
I was gonna try and say a quote, but I don't really care about this movie. So have a good night.
Wait, here I'll end this movie. I'll end this review, this podcast episode, on a quote from the movie that I wrote down, and it's when LeBron surprises Dom by bringing him to E3 Game Coder Camp, and then LeBron goes, "Hey, the ball," because Dom was holding a basketball thinking he was going to basketball camp, and then he goes, "You know what? I think I'll hang on to it."
All right. See ya.